Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video I will show you a game between Prince Andrey Dadian and Prince Gregorio Dadian. This game was played in St. Petersburg in 1880. Prince Andrey Dadian had white pieces and he started with e4. Prince Gregorio played e5, knight to f3, d6, the Philidor defense, d4, e takes on d4, queen takes on d4, bishop to e6, bishop to a3, a6 controlling b5, b4 playing knight to c6, knight to c3, knight to c6 attacking the queen, queen to d2, knight to f6, bishop to d3, bishop to e7, and both players castled kingside. Rook from a to d1, bishop to g4. Knight to g4 is not a bad move in this position. Bishop to g4 was played, pinning the knight, unpinning, black to move. Bishop takes knight was played. Strategically wrong, giving up a bishop here. White to move. Bishop takes bishop was expected, but that was a surprise. G takes on f3 was played. Very interesting move. Knight to e5, and now f4. Knight to g6, f5, attacking the knight again, knight to e5, f4. These double pawns are superstars. Knight from e to g4, h3, knight takes bishop, queen takes knight, black to move. Queen to d7 was played. Perhaps knight to d7 should have been considered. This would discourage e5. e5 doesn't work very well, because then d takes on e5, and after f takes on e5, black wins. So probably in this position knight to e4 should be played. But very likely that e5 would not be played by white. Queen to d7, e5, knight to e8, bishop to g4, threatening f6, f6 by Prince Gregorio, e6, queen to d8, white has a huge space advantage, rook to f2, c6 intending d5, queen to g3, d5, rook to g2, the queen is eyeing the pawn on g7, king to h8, bishop to h5, threatening to remove the defender of the g7 pawn, rook to g8, bishop to f7, attacking the rook, knight to d6, white to move. I guess some players would take the rook. Do you agree? Prince Andrey Dadian was not in a hurry. He played the queen to g4, h6, queen to h5, creeping closer to the black king, queen to f8. Let's take it back. If knight takes on f7, then pawn takes knight, and if rook to f8, rook takes on g7, king takes rook, queen to g6 check, king to h8, queen takes pawn check, mate. Back to our game. Queen to f8. White to move. Prince Dadian in a rush with taking the rook. Rook to g4 was played. g5. Pawn takes pawn en passant. Knight takes on f7. E takes on f7. Queen to g7. Let's take it back. Rook to g7 is not a good idea because of queen takes on h6 check, and after rook to h7, queen takes rook checkmate. Back to our game. Queen to g7. Pawn takes rook was possible. It looks like that Prince Andrey Dadian was seeking a beautiful finish, or he just wanted to torture his brother for longer. Rook to d3, bishop to f8, rook from d to g3, b5, rook to h4, b4. What is the best square for the knight? Looks like knight to e2 is a sensible move. Prince Dadian played knight takes on d5, c takes on d5, queen takes pawn on d5, rook to d8 attacking the queen. What is the best square for the queen? What would you do? Prince Andrey Dadian played rook takes on h6 check, queen takes rook, pawn takes rook, queen check, mate. Prince Andrey Dadian concluded that he tortured his brother long enough and gave him checkmate. After the game he was nice to his brother and then they had a lunch together. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess and bye for now.